Actual wood grain. Nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the Summer Project. Essentially, what this is that, for the summer, I'm out of college for the time being, and I have a lot of spare time on my hands. So, I decided, hey, how about I do a big F off project that I'll be doing throughout the summer? So, this is a Hinlong 1/16 scale remote controlled Tiger 1. It is a bloody tank. So if this kind of seems a bit out of left field for you, I've seen some of my earlier videos, specifically the War Thunder ones. You should probably know I kind of like tanks. I think they look cool. They look pretty badass. And I thought this would be the perfect project for over the summer. Because while this tank is nice, it's got a few missing details. Mainly, these road wheels, they're plastic, and like the painting is not like perfect from the faux rubber to the actual wheel. That looks pretty bad, and they get like dust and dirt just caked all over them. And the worst part, right? You have to flip the whole tank over to get to the battery tray. This is the battery tray. And to make it worse, there's this weird pull tab thing. It's damn near impossible to do with a singular hand. You gotta pull this back, you gotta finger this up, and let me tell you, this is a massive pain in the ass. And then, even worse, this is the battery they gave me. It's a nickel metal hydride thing. Worst part about this is that I can't use this with my standard LiPo charger because, well, it's not a LiPo and it has this weird connector. But it comes with this charger. Essentially, it's just a wall wart. And the worst part about this is that it has absolutely no charging cutoff. So you just leave it on, it will charge this thing forever. And I accidentally left it on for like a night, and when I came back to it in the morning, it was very warm. It was concerningly warm. So this summer project will be in 4 phases essentially. The first phase, i.e. this video, will be the hardware upgrade. Essentially, we're going to be replacing the entirety of the lower hull. We'll be replacing these plastic road wheels with some nice metal ones. And we'll replace the motors with these. These are 49-to-1 gear ratio. And for a tank, that's what you want. You want like the slowest thing you can find. It's just all torque. That's all this is. It's just torque. It's like American V8s. Torque. But we're going to have to be doing some modifications to the modifications. I'll show you. Yeah. This is the lower hull we're going to be using. These are made by a company called Taisian Tanks, I believe. And it comes with a bunch of screws. Comes with this back plate that just kind of slots into here. And it comes with this electronics tray, which is warped. But most importantly, it has full up torsion bar suspension. It has these swing arms on the sides. Yeah, you can see it twisting. Oh, it's supposed to be much better than the stock suspension, so that'd be really cool. I already showed you the motors. Here is the bag of metal road wheels. And they actually have like rubber tires on the outside. It looks really cool. But I was talking about modifications to our modifications, and I'm going to show you the main modification we're going to have to do. So this is the lower hull, right? It has this like clipping mechanism over here. And what we're gonna have to do, since the upper hole essentially just kind of like slots in and then goes down, and that's how it clips onto here, we're gonna have to mount this little metal tongue onto the upper hole. But the problem with that is that this tongue was made for a different model of tank. Usually in the middle there is a screw post that this is supposed to just kind of slot into, but Hinlong has changed the molding and there's no longer a screw post for this to mount into. So what we're going to have to do is essentially bend this down flat. And then we're going to have to take a tiny little M3 screw, and we're going to have to drill and countersink into the tank. So that's going to be fun. So we need to pop this tank open. Now there are 6 screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 underneath this track thing. Top tip is that these are very deep in there. They're very deep down. You're gonna need a specialty screwdriver. You're gonna need it, well, not specialty, very long screwdriver. Okay. Oh boy, here we go. So, this is the inside. Let's see. So here's our motors, on-off switch. This is the Hinlong box and all the spaghetti in the world. All right, well, let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and take the smoke unit and the speaker out. Okay, the smoke unit is mostly out. All right, now we need to get the battery connector out. All right, so this is Future Cobra here. Now, what I tried to do was dismantle that battery plug. There are little barbs you're supposed to like press in, and the whole like metal tab that the cable's connected to will come out. I did not know how to do this very well, so what I ended up doing was essentially just ripping apart the hole so I can get the connector through. Don't do this, please. This is very dangerous. I beg you all, do not do this, please. Just take the Tamiya connector apart, or if you can't do that, cut the cable and then splice it back together. Use some heat shrink too, but don't rip apart the plastic, please. I beg you all. I beg you, please. Anyway, back to past Cobra. Please do not do this. Oh yeah. Whew. Only made a small hole, you know. Let's shift gears. What we're gonna do instead, we're gonna kind of go ahead and prepare this thing. We're gonna get our lower hole and take this out, and we're gonna grab us some good old road wheels, and we also get two axle things. These go, I think they actually go into the other hole, but we don't need them. We need these things now. So here are the axles we're using. I'll just grab a set. So basically these just kind of press in. They come out this side. Then these get pushed into here to the swing arms. And a grub screw is supposed to keep them in? Cool, man. Alright, so we're just gonna time lapse the entire lower hole build. So hopefully this will work. So hopefully. It's finally over. We've got both sides of the road wheels finally put on. Oh my god, let me tell you, this chassis feels so much heavier now. Oh man. Look at it. Look at this. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh. Man, it just looks so cool. But now, honestly, the most tedious part of this out of the way. Now comes the more interesting predicament of dealing with these motors. There's something up there. So, we just TK6S board. That's what I'm going to call it. Does not have a plugged connection with the motors. In order to deal with that, I'm going to have to desolder these connections here. But in the meantime, while I'm figuring out how I'm going to do that, I am going to try to get these tracks off. There's a little like bolt screw thing in the sprocket wheel. Okay. Alright, so you just pull off the track and the sprocket wheel comes off. There's our one sprocket wheel. And then we should just be able to finagle the tracks enough. Yep. Alright. That is one pair of tracks. We'll set them off to the side. Loop it around our second sprocket gear, sprocket wheel, till it will come free, and we have our second track. Because I need to get these off to put on the new one. Well, this is an unfortunate series of events. Yeah, I have no idea how to get these off. Am I really gonna have to brute force it? I might have, you know what? That just might be the route we take. So I can't think of another way to get them off.
Eventually.
Alright. I did it. I actually did it. I did it off camera, but there is a Phillips head screw in here. You gotta put take your thing, you put it in there, and then it twists. Oh man, oh that makes me so happy. Okay, so the last thing we need to do, probably the most difficult, is going to be desoldering these motors. Oh man. Yeah, desoldering these bad boys. I'm not looking forward to this. Okay, well, what I'm gonna do actually is desolder these these and these off screen, because I'm gonna have to go through some weird stuff to be able to solder this stuff back together. So either I'll see you next week or I'll see you in a few seconds. So,
Eventually.
Alright, so I've done some things off camera. Let me show you. So I went ahead and transplanted most of the electronics into the Tasian hull. You have to put in this electronics tray with this little ridge right here facing forward. I actually went ahead and took out the smoke unit because it was, because this thing was kind of getting in the way. Me having to take it apart and put it back in all the time. Plus the tubing wasn't reaching the exhaust, so I was like, all right, whatever, just take it out. You got to take apart. You got to take out this blue cable for the heating element, and then this red and black cable with the yellow connector for the blower motor, and it just kind of came out. So we're not going to use this. Hopefully I can find a better smoke unit, because it wasn't really that good to begin with. I moved the switch on the Hinlong chassis. There's this little like plate. You legit just unscrew this, and then you unscrew the plate, unscrew the switch from here. So, God damn it. More importantly, I managed to resolder the motors. These things were a little weird. Originally, these are the cables for that the motors came with. They were wired up like this, with red going to black and black going to red. I ended up having to flip the polarity from the Hinlong motors. So that's fun. I installed these little wing things. These clip into the little bar that holds the tank together. A little trick is that the wings should face the driver's side of the tank. Now, when you clip it in, you can actually pick it up from the side skirts, and it won't fall apart. So that's nice. So on those drive sprockets, our idler wheels that we got open in the last segment, these are the Hinlong idler wheel, and you can see they have this like screw that goes into the Hinlong chassis. I figured out that these will not work on the Taishan chassis, so had to order some new idler wheels that they have this like smooth axle right here, and I had to order new sprocket gears because the Hinlong ones will not fit on these drive shafts. They're a little too small, and these are just like slightly bigger, so they will actually fit on. So if you're going to do this, you need to get the Taishan drive and idler wheel set. And then what we're going to have to do is go ahead and reinstall the tracks on either side. And then finally, we need to mount this plate, which goes on the upper hull right around here-ish. So we still have like a little bit of work to do on the tank, but after this video, phase 1 will be it'll be completely done. I'll talk about phase 2 after we get these things together. So roll the time lapse. Okay, I think we're done somewhat. Hold up, wait, not done yet. Hold up. We gotta put the shovel in. There, now we're done. All right, what I did was I installed the sprocket gear, as I said earlier, installed this, the idler, and the tracks on, and then I drilled and countersunk this screw for that little tongue for the front. I may or may not have somewhat messed up. I didn't drill it as center as I wanted it to be. But hey, It works. What I'm gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna chuck a bat in along with the controller thing, and hopefully when this thing powers up, it'll move in the direction we want. I feel like I'm loading a shotgun with this thing. Remote. Slot the battery in. Plug this in. Slot everything together. Then the switch is located right in here. Turn that on. Lights flash. All right, that's a good sign. Controller's on. All right. Drive, Osman. Okay. So, I'm gonna move this stick. All right, the turret works. Okay. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Forward. Yes. Oh, it's so smoother now. Oh yeah, let's go. Oh, let's go. Let's go, baby. All right, stop. Oh. Okay. All right. We need to reconnect these hoses first. All right, now you're gonna have an out-of-body experience here in a few seconds. We're gonna go on a little field trip. Oh, dude, you do not know how happy this makes me feel. All right, let's get some footage of this thing rolling around, and then we'll come back and I will discuss other things. So a bit of a in-field analysis. These motors are running concerningly hot. Like if I were to like leave my finger on here, I'd probably get like second-degree burns. The gears, I did put a little dielectric grease on these, just to kind of like give them a little extra lube. They're fine. I mean, just a little bit of grease or whatever. You did see that this ran through some water. That was like just a little bit of water, only yay deep. I think a little bit of water got on this gear, and I guess assuming this gear, because I felt them, they're a little wet. So yeah, the shafts in here I don't think are waterproof or sufficiently waterproof, so I wouldn't recommend running through water in this thing, because again, you're not really meant to, and there are many holes and places for water to get into and not get out. So a little bit on that dielectric grease. I might have put a little too much on. You can maybe see, yeah, you can see the like black spray. Yeah, you can see that black spray. That is extra grease, and you can see on the upper hole, it's just the line. It's a little fainter on that side. From this side, you can definitely see it. So I would say rest of the running gear holding up pretty well. I mean, yeah, it's a little dirty because I've just been running it a good bit. Tracks look fine, nice in tension still. It's just these motors. I've actually ordered some what was that? Anyway, I've actually ordered some heat sinks for these motors, because again, yeah, they're running extremely hot. Like, again, it burns. So I'm thinking about maybe setting up some kind of like water cooling loop. Yeah, because these things are running super hot. If I were to run a water cooling loop, that would make this project a little more complicated than it needs to be. So I think maybe I'll just stick with putting heat sinks on the motors, because I think I have enough room. And then if that doesn't work, put a fan on them, an extra fan, just to get some kind of air circulation. I know it's all like kind of closed in up here, but I mean, if those two things don't work, then yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go to the water cooling loop anyway. But it might be a little overkill. There's probably a better way to do it, but hey, I'm just shooting stuff out here. Anyway, back to the we're gonna go back to the workshop and do a little debrief. So I'll catch you there. All right, so I just took the tank out for a little test drive to see how everything works. Oh my God, let me tell you, this suspension looks so cool. Driving around, you know, you're going over bumps and all the wheels are moving up and down. Oh, it's so much better than stock. Stock suspension did not have this smooth a travel. It was very, you know, like jittery. Now oh yeah, these are nice and smooth. Oh yeah, and those motors, oh man, this thing moved surprisingly realistically, just slowly trundling around. The slow speed is so much better now. Oh man. But there are a few problems to deal with. Hold on, we need to open the tank up. These motors, I was praising them for the low speed performance because it is really good. But holy shit, these things got hot. And when I mean hot, I mean you put your finger on them and you get a second-degree burn. Holy shit, it is concerning. We'll put it like that. It is when these things run that hot. I'm honestly a little worried that the solder might come undone, but I mean, good lord, these things were getting really warm. I did put a little bit more grease on the gearing. I just put like some dielectric grease on there so it runs a little better. I might have to redo these wires because again, these wires too were getting warm. So I think in the short term, maybe figure out a way to put like a little fan in here just to get like some kind of air on these motors, because dude, they were so hot. In the long term, I think we're gonna replace this little stupid little board, because I think we're running this board is running these motors really hard because they are mismatched brands, Henlong and Teijin motors. I think that might be fixed with the board replacement that we're going to do in phase 2, which perfectly segues us into the next episode, which will be phase 2. This was phase 1. In phase 2, that's going to be the main electronic upgrade. We're going to be replacing this whole board right here, and probably doing a little bit of a rewiring of this tank, because look at this spaghetti. The board I'm going to use for that, it's called I think it's a Clark TK40 board that I'm going to be using for this. And yeah, we're gonna have to fix this spaghetti. I'm not entirely sure how to do that, but we'll make it work. So yeah, next episode. As for when it's going to be out, I honestly don't know. It could be out next month. It could be out in 2 months. It really just depends on when I can get these. In the next episode, we're going to be replacing this board, but also we're going to be changing out this battery connector for a XT60, and also giving it a LiPo battery instead of this shitty nickel metal hydride thing. And finally, we're going to be replacing this shitty Henlong transmitter with, I don't remember what they're called. I'll throw it up on the screen now so you can see it. So that's what we're replacing it with. So this is the end of phase 1. Phase 2, we're going to be doing the electronics upgrade. Phase 3, that's going to be detailing. We're going to be replacing some of these details on the tank, you know, shovel, pliers, this like box thing, all the like the tools and cables on here. We're going to be replacing them with like good metal ones and be like detailing the tank. And then in phase 4, we're painting her up. It's going to be in this like tan color, kind of like the lower hole is. So it's going to be painted, you know, German yellow. It's going to look real cool. So I hope y'all stick around. I got big plans. I'll see you later.